you come on this day, the day of the 38th episode of Brat Said That. Well, I'm gonna make you an opinion you can't refuse. That's right, everybody. It is episode 38 of Brat Said That. The theme is The Godfather. So for some reason, I don't know, I just pulled these themes out of my tuchus. And yeah, so we're getting a little bit of mafia tonight, alright? Guys, girls, boys, and gentlemen, we are 38 episodes in. I'm so excited. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dude. Hopefully the internet can stay or put, or else I'm sick of it and I'm going to make it go swim with the fishes, okay? We got a huge show to talk about. Hope everybody enjoyed the Valentine's Day episode. It is, shockingly, still being uploaded to YouTube. 46%. Come on, YouTube. By the time this show's over, it might be uploaded and I might be able to post it. I'm kind of laid back casual today. I got the Yankee hat on. I got the sweatshirt covered in dog hair. But we're going to talk about it because consistency is key. And I just want to make sure that I post at least twice a week. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about MMA. We're going to talk about the Olympics. Miscellaneous. I wrote it all down. I hope everybody likes this, this side profile. I am a handsome man. By the way, I added more stuff to the wall. You can't see it on this side, but I got my autographs over here. And yeah, so we're going to jump right into it, guys. We have another mysterious storyline going on in the WWE. Monday Night Raw. Who's in the box? Who's the mysterious man? Why do we have two mysterious storylines going on at once? This is very Vince McMahon-y. I'm not going to lie. It really is. Obviously, he's not in charge or, he has nothing to do with the WWE. But we got a giant box on Raw, and now we got to figure out this mysterious man who's taking out the Vision. My guess, Chris Jericho. Is he going to come out of the box? Who says? A lot of people talking about Danhausen. That goofy gimmick. I can see him coming out of the box. Very spooky, very evil. Very boxy. I don't know. But we're going to look at the results of Raw. And, I didn't get to watch Raw because I was at work, but it's okay. I love my job. It's good to be able to say that. But I can tell you right now, this internet has been shitting out. We had a huge windstorm last night. A really big windstorm. So, I don't know if it kind of knocked some internet loose. That's why I might have had to film this earlier today. But no, I'm filming it now live on Facebook Live. Yeah. So, Monday Night Raw happens every week since 1993. Except for when the dogs took over. Who let the dogs out? Who? Let's see. We got two more Elimination Chamber qualifiers. Javon Evans defeated Dominic Mysterio and Gunther. I didn't see that happening. I did not see that happening. And we have Asuka. Nobody beats Asuka, especially Bayley and Natty. She qualified for the Elimination Chamber. And the Vision and six-man tag defeated LA Knight and the Usos. And then Penta defeated El Grande Americano, the new one, not the original one. But now they're going to, I don't know. I love Grande Americano. It's so funny because El Grande Americano in the WWE, so let's see, Ludwig Kaiser's account Americano is heel. And the original El Grande Americano, Gable, is face. And in AAA, Kaiser is face and Chad Gable's a heel. So, craziness has happened in that situation. But, I love it. I can't wait till the payoff, WrestleMania. Get them together, mask versus mask. You got it. You book it. People want it. Go see it. So, book it. A lot of people, too, are talking about AJ Lee. I love AJ Lee. I'm glad she's back. But a lot of people are kind of steady spaghetti about it. I don't know, the promos aren't there, and I think this fan anticipation to see her back isn't there anymore. It breaks my heart, too. There's a Reddit trend, is AJ Lee a case of worse than I remember? I definitely don't think so. I don't think she was worse than I remember. But, she's been out for over a decade. She's making these rare appearances scattered everywhere. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, too. They're facing off an Elimination Chamber, and they're going to fight for the Intercontinental Championship. So, I think AJ Lee will probably win that. It's in Chicago. AJ Lee's not from Chicago, but she is from Chicago. She's like me, Vegas. I'm not from Vegas, but I claim Vegas as home. And she's claimed Chicago as home for probably ever since she's married to CM Punk. But yeah, I'm just going to look at the results from Raw. Mostly it's just, let's see, Raw happens, we got a box, Usos, Theory. I really want the Mysterious Man to be Adam Pearce. I think that would be phenomenal. That would be great. In the back, Pierce came up a huge crate. This is delivered to WWE. Do not open until 2/28/26. Mysterious box. So who could that be? Who knows? And the CM Punk versus Finn Balor is funny. JD McDonough is back, and they called him Bobblehead because of his big ass head. And AJ Lee and Becky Lynch are going at it. Dominic Mysterio, I think Penta, did I say Penta is now the number one contender? Yeah, Penta defeated El Grande Americano to become the number one contender for Dom Dom's Intercontinental Championship. Penta versus Dominic, WrestleMania, mask versus title, or something. They can do a lot with that. Those two luchadors, would you consider, well, yeah, he considers himself the greatest luchador of all time, so I guess I have to. But, it was a good Raw, 5.72 on the cage match. I don't know. Raw doesn't really make too much of a huge splash, I like it. It's consistent on Netflix. It used to be on the USA Network. And what was it else? Spike TV. That's when it was really top. Nickelback, we're going out tonight. I don't want to sing the whole song. I might get copyrighted. By the way, Nickelback does not deserve the hate that they get. But every time I hear that song, sound like you to say sorry, I always hear his Canadian accent. I heard it once for some reason, like sorry, and it just is burned in my head forever. Now, sorry, but WWE did announce something huge for Italy. Yes. Speaking about the Godfather, Italy, they're going to the motherland. The first ever WWE Premium live event in Italy, May 31st. I'm excited. That means there's going to be an early ass o'clock event. I took that from another YouTuber. Early ass o'clock. Some of these is, burn in my head. So yeah, it'll be cool. I don't really know who's the Italian guy that really could make a splash in Italy. That's in the WWE. I know they got rid of what was his name? Not Ludwig Kaiser's partner, Marcel. What's his name? Marcel Berthel. I don't know. He was from Italy, right? So, but he's not in the WWE no more, right? Am I stupid or am I dumb? Anyway, but. They were going to Italy. I've never been to Italy. I would love to go to Italy, try their pasta, look at their sights and sounds, and, Giovanni Vinci. That's Giovanni Vinci. That's right. He's from Italy. So that'd be cool. Have him come back, join, I don't know what they're going to do. After they unmask Kaiser, because I think they're going to go that route. Do you put him back with Gunther? Do you bring back Imperium? Because I love Imperium. They were such a cool faction. I always loved and been a fan of, country stables. The League of Nations was okay when they did it right. But, those foreign alliances I liked. I've always liked those, but, But, Dude Wipes. I love Dude Wipes. I got a big tuchus, and Dude Wipes I love it. They're the official partner of the WWE. So, you got a issue with your tissue, Dude Wipes is the answer. So, yeah. You got a brown spot. Dude Wipes is the official partner of the WWE. I do got to bring up something. I am a huge, huge Kevin Nash fan, even if he wasn't the most exciting wrestler in the world. Everybody remembers Diesel and Kevin Nash. He said some stupid comments. About Javon Evans. Everybody's got a podcast and has an opinion, like this idiot right here. But, he posted that Javon Evans, he's a little bit too Mr. Bojangles for me. I wish he had a little bit more urban. I just want him to have a little bit more of an edge. Yeah. The term Mr. Bojangles isn't exactly a great term when you reference an African American. It's not, but he's faced a lot of backlash, but he apologized. You can apologize. It's okay to say something and apologize. I've done it, I've done it, but it's just be careful what you say. We are gonna dive deep into freedom of speech in about the next section. But damn, Kevin Nash, I love your podcast. Click this. It was up for Brat Said That podcast of the year. You hold a place in my heart, which is funny because Kevin Nash, I have, as you know, I'm a huge autograph collector for wrestlers. Kevin Nash's autograph is so small. It's so adorable because he's 7 foot tall and his autograph is just K Nash. And I love it. I wish I could show you the wall, but I can't. We've added stuff back there. There's Babe, some other stuff we added. Trying to make this more podcasty. I'm still on Facebook Live, but it is what it is, But they are going to do soon a AJ Styles celebration, which AJ Styles is my favorite TNA wrestler of all time. I remember back in the day discovering TNA. My best friend at the time, still one of my best friends in the world, Jason, he had the like a random TNA VHS, and we watched it. It was like TNA episode 12 on a VHS. Yes, that's how old I am. And I was like, oh, TNA is cool. And then they had like the Wednesday pay-per-views. It was only $10. It was great. Every Wednesday, my dad would go bowling, and I would sneak off Cablevision, order it, be like, I don't know how that got there. But they're planning a tribute to him, and I want to do a little tribute to AJ Styles on my show too, because I love AJ Styles. When he debuted in WWE in 2016, I literally jumped up and down. That was probably the most exercise I got that year. It was stupid too, like because everybody's like looking at the Titantron. I am phenomenal, and then Kevin Dumb have focused on what's his nuts. Roman Reigns' face, and we were like, who's this? And then, can it be? It's AJ Styles. So, and then, AJ Styles, he is, I don't want to be funny, but he is phenomenal. He's one of the best of all time, and, Gunther didn't make him tap out like a little biatch. He went out like a man. He looked like a man. And, he was Ring of Honor, PWG, New Japan, I still think he is going to come back in AEW in March at Revolution. Brat said that, put in the books. I've said that for weeks. But I do want to look at AJ Styles matches, because I think he really deserves to get a little retrospect. I definitely think I'm going to write up an article on bodyslam.net about AJ Styles and, all his, his career, because it's expanded. This dude was in WCW. He was in WCW. So, I'm on cagematch.net. I want to see what the best match. Oh, who can forget? Absolutely. AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe. 3-way at Unbreakable 2005. Listen, if you're trying to get somebody to watch wrestling, you show them that match. 3 absolute legends at their peak. 2005, Unbreakable. That was, I keep saying phenomenal, but it was phenomenal. And it was running New Japan in the mid-2000s. Well, how do you say that? It's not mid-2000s, mid-2010s? Is that a thing? I feel like that's a thing. Tanahashi, Nakamura. Much better than his WrestleMania match with Nakamura. Samoa Joe, TNA, Ring of Honor. His highest rated match in Ring of Honor is against Paul London. I love Paul London. I did a seminar with him, and I got a picture with him. His best match, definitely WWE, is against John Cena. Was that, which one? That was Rumble. Yeah, Rumble 2016. I'm glad I got to see the face off at Money in the Bank 2016. His cage match against Abyss at TNA Lockdown. That was, Okada, Ibushi, Ring of Honor, AJ versus the Matt and Nick Jackson versus Beretta, Okada, and Rocky. That's his second highest Ring of Honor match. And then, just his indie run. He would go on these indie runs, like overseas against Ospreay, Chris Hero, Jimmy Rave, rest in peace. And then, I'm trying to, even in the early TNA days, when he was the first ever X Division champion. I love this dude. And it's like, excuse me. Pro Wrestling Noah Marufuji against the Elimination Chamber, even though he lost that match. AJ versus Jerry Lynn versus Low-Key. AJ versus Ambrose. Adam Cole versus AJ Styles. Even his team with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, when they were tag team champions against Homicide and TNA. Even in later day in TNA, when he was like that lone wolf character or whatever it was. Bully Ray, Last Man Standing. But, yes, he really is the greatest, one of the top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time, to me. I don't put him on my Mount Rushmore, but if there's one more spot, I think CM Punk likes to call it the 6 grandfathers. He would be on my 6 grandfathers. That's for dang sure. But, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see. I think, is Gunter going to come out? Is Styles going to come out? Why are they doing the celebration now? He lost, what was it? Almost a month ago, right? The Rumble. So, it is what it is. But in the Ultimate X match, the Iron Man match with Christopher Daniels, I just want to go watch AJ Styles matches. Like, if you're a fan, or trying to get a fan of, AJ Styles, go, how many matches does this guy have? So, if you, cage match is correct, he's had 2,300 matches. That is insane. We can look at the titles he's won, too. Let's see. First title he's won. TNA X Division Champion, 2002. World Tag Team Champion, Jerry Lynn, 2002. Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion with the Amazing Red. NWA World Heavyweight Champion. NWA World Tag Team. He won it with Abyss. Wow. Ring of Honor Pure Championship, which is my personal favorite championship of all time. IWA Mid-South Heavyweight Championship. NWA Heavyweight PWG. NWA World Tag with Christopher Daniels. TNA Knockout Legends Champion. Not Knockouts Champion. He's that good. He can compete with the women too. The IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the same championship that Brock Lesnar won. WWE Champion, United States Champion, Intercontinental Champion, and then Raw and World Tag Team Champion. So anywhere you put this guy, he's gonna become champion. Man, I miss him. And I miss him so much. But, is he retired? I don't think so. I think he's still got to finish his career in AEW. His connection with the Young Bucks. His connection with Christopher Daniels. His connection to that kind of world. That PWG, Ring of Honor, New Japan world. So, I can see him at the end of Revolution. They don't want none. You don't mess with the redneck. But yeah, I'm going to definitely write up an article about maybe like his best match and top 10 promotions. Because I can't do top 10 WWE matches. That's not fair for the guy. But, but he's done for now. But we do need to look to the future. NXT happened just last night. We'll go over the results. We'll talk about it. Before I get to the NXT results, poor Jada Parker is officially sidelined with a neck injury. She just came back too. less than a couple months ago, she came back. And now she's hurt. You know, we'll see what happens. You know, I don't want to say that for everything, but obviously we'll see what happens. That's how life works. But, you know, NXT. Keanu Lee Jordan defeated Lola Vice. Tony D'Angelo, who I'm a huge fan of, I think he's going to be the next NXT champion. He defeated Cutler James. I don't know who that is. Damn, he was born in 2000. Born in 2000, bro. I'm getting old. And then the NXT Tag Team tournament. NXT number one contenders. The Vanity Project, Brad Baylor, and Ricky Smokes. Why would you have a Ricky Smokes and a Ricky Saints? You know, Hank and Tank, who I love, and then Bronco Nima and Lucian Price and Nico Vance and Sean Spears. Vanity Project are the new number one contenders. The NXT Tag Team Champions are Dark State. So, we'll see what happens there, obviously, because that's how life works. This Speed Championship, I don't like. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. Get rid of it. Eli Knight. Why would you have an Eli Knight when you have an LA Knight? Yeah. What is it like? Eli Knight? Okay. What is it, Lil Jon? Versus Elo LaFleur. What a great name. Elio LaFleur. He's from Paris, like my co-producer, LGBT. LGBT. And then Ethan Page, who I'm so high on Ethan Page. He defeated Shiloh Hill, who's making a name for himself too. He just made his debut not too long ago. 2024. You know, I think he's one of those LFG guys. So, you know, homegrown talent is always cool to see. You know, what is it? Hold on. What was it? I know the motorcycle world is called the Prospects. But what is it? What's the Reds of the Mafia? I know it's like main man. You know, you gotta be an associate. You gotta be a soldier. You know, everybody starts somewhere. You can't just be a boss like Tony D'Angelo. We're gonna talk about miscellaneous section, probably the best fictional mafia members of all time. You know, I know growing up in New York, John Gotti was big. And then I remember growing up Gotti. I've watched that show a lot. You know, and then they did like a Where Are They Now episode like 10 years later, and one of them didn't want to come out of their room. But it is what it is. But hey, speaking about Vengeance, NXT's next monthly live stream event, Vengeance Day, is March 7th, 2026. This is NXT's biggest yearly PLE with championship matches. I know one is Joe Hendry facing Ricky Saints for the NXT Championship. You know, Vengeance Day is a staple of WWE. They have had one since, what was it, 2000? 2001? NXT Vengeance. What is WWE? Oh, it's Vengeance and the Vengeance Night of Champions. Don't want to talk about that pay-per-view. But yeah. That one is going to be March 7th with Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry versus and Izzy Dam and Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. So we'll check it out. We'll talk about it. We'll put our predictions in when it's closer. But I do want to talk about AEW because that is what I do. The Inspiration, Jessie K and Cassie Lee, a.k.a. the Iconics, they made their debut in a dark segment. A lot of people are like, why are they in AEW? I think AEW has a women's tag team division, and they should be part of that division because they're a women's tag team. They're the first ever WWE women's tag team champions, right? Or did I do that for myself? No, I think it was Bayley and Sasha Banks. But they won at WrestleMania, right? I think so. I don't remember. It's been a while. I'm old. Hello? Anyway, let's see. I'm looking at AEW Dynamite tonight. Moxley defeated Mark Davis. And then, oh wow, really good match right now. Willow Nightingale versus Marina Shafir versus Megan Bayne versus Mina Shirakawa. Bullet Club War Dogs. Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd versus the Conglomeration. Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii. Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland. That's a hell of a match. And then the Brawling Birds. Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter are facing 3 question marks. So, this is on CageMatch.net. That should be the official co-host of this show because I use it a lot. I think CageMatch.net is the greatest thing to happen to a wrestling fan, especially this nerd that spends hours and hours every day looking at results. Because I'm a psychopath. I've been doing that since 1997, and I'm not going to stop. But I do want to look at like the whole Dynamite results and see if it's posted. Let's see. Results, live destruct. It should be over, right? Because it's 10 o'clock. Let's see. Jon Moxley versus Mark. Moxley wins by submission. FTR and the Young Bucks. Those are two of the best tag teams in the world right there. Brody King came out with Bandito, another F-Ice chant. I made a joke about abolish ice, and I thought it was funny, but Babe didn't think it was funny. But my co-host, Chad LGBT, did. I said, Babe doesn't think it's funny, and he said, of course she doesn't. But she is hilarious. Willow Nightingale defeated and defended the AEW TBS Championship. Grand Slam. Oh, and I gotta talk about that. There was a little emotional segment. Former WWE director Curran Sylphies, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. He passed away. Bryan Danielson gave a nice speech to him about him. Then Hangman Adam Page and Maxwell Freeman, MJF, made it to the ring, and MJF said at Revolution it's going to be, Page said Texas Deathmatch, which, if you do a Texas Deathmatch right, you better do it right. And then MJF said that if Adam Page loses, he's never, ever going to fight for the AEW Championship ever again, even if MJF is not champion. So that is Rant. Let's see. Conglomeration win against Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd. And let's see. Back from commercial. Becca and Viva Van. Oh, good to see Viva Van. I saw her. Big fan of hers. Don't know who Becca is, but, shout out to her. Renee Paquette. Renee Young, sweetheart of a lady. Interviews Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa backstage. Beast Mortos versus Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight wins with a UFO splash. So that's what that was. A UFO splash where he jumps and turns. And okay, I get it. Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland. Oh my God, there's a lot of capitals. Let's see. V. Trigonel's Edwards trying to hit. He hits Ari Edwards. Oh no. Swerve stomps on the apron. Kenny Omega magic kick out. House call misses, Dragon the suplex connects, Kenny clutches his jaw, V-trigger to the back, poison, Frankenstein connects, and then the V-trigger off the ropes, house call counter, big pressure, it's over, Swerve Strickland wins by pinfall. Let's see. Post-match, Strickland goes to Omega, hammers with the punches, Swerve hangs Omega over the ropes, but it's not yet done yet, pleads, Dragon. Wow, Deadeye on the steps. And through the announcer's desk. Wow. That sounds like an absolutely insane ending to AEW Dynamite. I have to watch that. But, yeah. So, hey. Craziness. So, what is it? Revolution is coming up in a couple weeks, right? March something or other. See any matches that have changed. Bing. Who bings? I don't bing. March 15th. Just FTR and the Young Bucks. And then the Texas Death Match that we said. So nothing else added to Revolution. It should. We're less than a month away. But, yeah. So WWE and AEW Teenage doing all good stuff. But hey, I might be wrong about something. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is always MMA UFC. The UFC to hold the historic White House fight card. El Presidente Dana White said the fight card for June 14th at the White House lawn is built. I guess I'm wrong, but I still don't think they're going to have a card. I honestly don't. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. By the way, let's check up on episode 37. Uploading 58%, 2 hours and 52 minutes left. Jesus. Anyway, I still don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's still hype. then they're going to probably pull out mid-March for security reasons. Because having a fight on the White House lawn while there is homeless population doesn't sit right to me. But, one person who's trying to make a comeback for the last 5 years, Conor McGregor. McGregor has reportedly been offered an opponent and date for his comeback fight and is waiting the official contract. Fueling speculation, he'll be a part of the White House card. Oh my God, why are we still talking about this guy? Conor McGregor is never going to fight again. The White House card is not going to happen. Maybe. But what's more likely to happen? Conor McGregor fighting or the White House card happening? Conor McGregor fighting. Maybe. Because the dude hasn't fought a MMA fight in 5 years. Last time I saw him, he broke his leg. He's much older now. He's 37. He's 37. I just said that. He seems a lot more interested in the activities outside of the octagon than inside the octagon. But I don't know. But what I'm going to say next is totally going to contradict everything I just said. Because a crazy, I want to say boxing match is happening between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. Both, let's see, is it, it's going to be an MMA fight. Oh, wow. I thought it was going to be a boxing fight. MMA fight, this changes everything. I think Rousey takes this easily. Rousey is a legit Olympian. And Gina Carano, last I've seen of Gina Carano is she was in Star Wars. Something like Star Wars Mandalorian. She hasn't fought since 2009. That's a long time ago. She is older than Ronda Rousey. She's 43. Ronda is, I think, my age or a little bit younger. 39. So, 4 years age difference. But Ronda in MMA, with her judo background, obviously we always talk about her missteps in her last two fights against Holm and Nunes, but, those arm bars is a serious thing, and, she was, you can still look at all the records she holds, even if she did kind of, don't want to use the word embarrass herself, but, the last two fights were pretty embarrassing to say, but she still has, the shortest average fight time in women's bantamweight history, second most finishes in the women's bantamweight history. Yeah. But I thought it was a boxing match. I didn't know it was our MMA fight. Sorry, that was disgusting. Oh, she endorsed Bernie Sanders, so she's got my hat off. But yeah, I don't know. What did I just have a stroke? I honestly think this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be. I'm actually. Now that it's an MMA fight, I really want to see it. When is this fight happening? May 16, 2026. So just a few months, exactly 3 months away. Wow. I read somewhere that they're gonna have Royce Gracie versus Kimo Leopoldi at the undercard. What are we doing? Jeez, pulling names out of a hat. What's next? Let's go UFC 21. And what are we gonna have now? We're gonna have God, I hate bringing so much. We're gonna bring Pat Miletich back to face Andre Penedamaris. Like, what are we doing here? But hey, good. I'll watch it. I'll talk about it. I actually look kind of hyped about it now that it's MMA. But I do want to talk about one thing. Two people. One making his career, he's calling it a career in his hometown in Seattle. Michael Chiesa. Always been a fan of Michael Chiesa. He won the Ultimate Fighter season 15, the Tough Live. Or was that 16? I'm sorry. Was it 15 or 16? It was a live. It was a live one, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was 15th episode. I know these things. Beat Long Island old Al Iaquinta. It was always like a really good fighter, ran into some trouble against like the top. We all know his fight against Kevin Lee, don't talk about my mom, and they got into a scuffle. And, He went, let's see, 19-7 in UFC career. He's facing Charlton Hester Harris at UFC Seattle in his final MMA bout. So, great dude. I met him once. Beat Candice Sanchez, Dos Anjos, and Magny. What a 4-fight win streak on him. Lost to Pettis, lost to Lee, lost to Lozon. Fought everybody who's everybody. Masvidal, Kevin Holland, Tony Ferguson. So, yeah. And then he went 4-0, obviously, in the, that tough live is different. Because he fought, let's see, March 9th, April 6th, May 11th, and May 25th. That's 4 fights in 2 months. And he went through personal tragedy. Because if you watch the show, he lost his dad while he was filming the show. So, that's insane. That is insane. And he defeated the favorite of that whole season, Justin Lawrence, by TKO. So, a fighter's fighter, always running in. Let's see, fight of the night 2 times, submission of the night 2 times, performance of the night 1 time. So, tied Kenny Florian for second most rear naked chokes in the UFC history behind Damian Maia. That is a great category to be in. So, hats off to Michael Chiesa for one heck of a career. But one person who is making his name is Gabe Stevenson. Yes, the Olympic medalist Gabe Stevenson. He's fighting tomorrow in Mexican Fight League 3. Did not make that up. That is the actual name of I call him Gabe Stevenson. It's Gable Stevenson. Mexican Fight League 3. Hugo Lazama. Don't know his record, but it's down in Mexico. So, if Gable Stevenson wins, goes 3-0, I can see him fighting possibly on the White House card. I know he's got a little bit of a history to him, but man, freestyle wrestling 40-6. What the NCAA record 67-2. Defeated Wyatt Hendrickson. I know that name. I love Christina wrestling, collegiate wrestling. So we'll see. I mean, the dude's an athlete. Win or lose, the dude's an athlete. Big dude, 265. Did a little bit of wrestling. A lot of people weren't big into him in wrestling because of his past, but let's give this guy a chance and see how he is. Seems like he's had his head straight. But I want him to start fighting on more legitimate MMA events. LFA, his first fight, would be a perfect promotion for him to keep fighting in, but we'll see. That was in September. He's fought 3 times since then, or he's going to fight 3 times since then. He even threw in a dirty boxing record or knockout in 15 seconds. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. There is a UFC fight this weekend. It is Sean Strickland versus Fluffy Hernandez. Okay, guys, this is how I got to get a little bit more serious about this. Sean Strickland has recently as today, went on a tirade during a press conference and pretty much threw every single person under the bus. He made comments about women, LGBTQ plus people. Bad Bunny called him the F word. Oh, no, he called Bad Bunny the F word. He said, I don't even want to repeat the things he said because it is absolutely disgusting. I will have my co-producer kind of tell you what he said, but Sean Strickland's comments are disgusting, and I get it, freedom of speech. I'm all for the First Amendment. We live in this country, but there's gotta be a little bit of things you can and cannot say. There's freedom of speech, but there's not freedom of consequences. I don't really want to get into it, but I'm going to get into it because it is... He went on a rant. Blasted Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance. Gay foreigner who doesn't speak English. Later calling him corporate plot and saying that Strickland called women's MMA irrelevant, comparing it to WNBA. And I will be back in a second. Gotta little comment from the babe here. Gotta make sure everything is okay. I will be right back. We're gonna take a step back for the messages. Look at the new wall that I built. I will be right back. All right, we are back. We just had a little, had to help out Babe for a second. When she calls her man comes for her. So, and it's good. I kind of had to calm down and stop talking about Sean Strickland. Let's bring that back in frame, But yeah, he said a lot of stupid things. I don't want to repeat him. I blocked him on everything. So, I'm looking forward to seeing Fluff Hernandez knock him out once again. Because Sean Strickland, he talks a lot. But his fighting does not live up to his talking. It doesn't. It's not, it's, I don't know. He's lost his last fight. He hasn't fought since February 2025. Before that, lost one fight in 2024. He's talked a lot. He's talked a lot, and his fighting doesn't back it up. He goes on this racist time rant, so I want to just give him the BratWURST award, but I kind of want to name it the Sean Strickland BratWURST award, because I feel like I'll give him this award every time he opens up his fucking mouth. And I know I'm just a little fat nerd in his apartment talking about it, but you can't have a platform like that and spread that much hate. Like, I get it. You gotta, you're almost 40, and you gotta kind of stay relevant, and you gotta talk about, stuff like that. But he said things like the NFL, it was a real men's sport. They're ganging up. I did the research, okay? And let me tell you a former Super Bowl halftime performers, okay? So, he said, back in my day, the NFL was effing standard of being a man. The NFL is effing pathetic these days. Okay, back in the day, they had Ryan Bortano, a gay man, performing the Olympic ice skating. Patti LaBelle, Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan from Cuba, Enrique Iglesias from Spain, NSYNC, who has a gay member in their band, effing P. Diddy, both Paul McCartney and the Rolling Stones, who are British, Prince, The Who, Madonna, Coldplay, Lady Gaga, and more. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Oh, the NFL is tough. Stop. Okay, you're a figurehead. You're a main event fighter of a like, why are you talking like that? Like, I know it's funny, F this, Democrat this, liberal this. Like, there's other ways to, like, spread your message without being so hateful. And I know, like, everybody's talking about Bad Bunny. Okay, he's performed in the halftime show before, too. Everybody just shits on this guy, Bad Bunny, who I think he's phenomenal, inside, outside of music in the ring. My aunt told me, asked me why I have so many girlfriends. I got one girlfriend there. Like, well, that's all you had to do. That's his lyrics in English. They just hate it because he's Spanish. And we live in a hateful world right now. That's all it is. You know? Yeah, let's have Metallica perform at the halftime show. What the fuck has Metallica done the last 20 years? I love Metallica, don't get me wrong. But, like, you know, the halftime show has always been poppy. You know, we had it a few years ago with Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. That was dope. But that's still, like, you know, modern. We're not going to have, like, Slayer or any of that. You know? Closest thing is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So, yeah. Sean Strickland, I hope Fluffy knocks you out. And, you know, stop with the hate, man. Like, you're like, you know, like, you're a former world champion. He's not actually nearly 40. He's 34. I don't know why I said he's nearly 40. He's younger than me. But still, you're former champion of the world. Act like one. You know, you're always allowed to have a freedom of speech. That's okay. That's what this country is built by. But don't be a dick. Don't hate other groups just for no reason. Just to get a little bit of a Twitter thing going. You know, I watched clips of this guy talking about this. He hasn't even promoted his fight once. I think he said one thing about Fluffy Hernandez and said, what did he say? He said he was going to drag him to hell. None of his fights he's dragged anybody to hell. It's been actually pretty fucking boring. So, for your comments against the NFL, the LGBTQ, the women, Sean Strickland, you are the BratWURST Award loser of the week. I was going to give it to Kevin Nash, but I love Kevin Nash. I respect him. I don't respect Kevin Nash. I don't respect Sean Strickland, but yeah, I just like watching Alex Ferrer knock him out. Boom. Two-piece combo to the face. So, but yeah. Speaking about blunders, you know, this is actually a reason why I want to start my own show. Now, I am nowhere near an expert in sports talk, but some people say things, and it's like, do you understand what you're saying? So, this happened earlier today, I think. If my Google and my internet will work, I will tell you. But it's just, there we go. So, let's see. Jason McIntyre. Great last name. No relation to Drew. He says that Mike Evans hasn't even sniffed a Super Bowl championship. Now, Mike Evans is part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl quite a few years ago. And Mike Evans was on the team. So, how do you go on ESPN or FS1 Sports and say something like that? Mike Evans, unbelievable career in Tampa. He's going to be motivated to chase the Super Bowl. Hasn't sniffed one in Tampa. Dummy. Yeah. You know, I understand it. Sometimes people forget. But Mike Evans, you know what team he's played for? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you know what other team he's played for? None. Because he's been on Tampa Bay his whole career. And Tampa Bay was good. Tom Brady era. He's played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since 2014, silly. You know, he was on the team when they won the Super Bowl. There's pictures of him kissing the Lombardi Trophy. What a silly thing to say. I want to make sure, because I feel like I'm stupid, because let's see. They won in what, 2021, right? The Eagles. Wild card. Yeah. In Super Bowl LV, which is this, Evans caught one pass on target for 31 yards in the 31-9 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. So, you know I kind of say some silly things, but you're a professional, dude. You should be able to tell that Mike Evans is a Super Bowl champion. So, but anyway, NFL's over. We gotta wait for a few months until that gets heated up. Super Bowl just happened. MLB, like I said too, spring training's going on. starts on 20th. Pitchers and catchers, we're getting all heated up. We're getting ready for the season. Valentine's Day, we talked about the projections. Who's going to do what? Who's going to go where? But, you know, we talked about the NBA All-Star Game. The season starts back up again tomorrow. I do want to look at the records of the teams. We'll start on the Eastern Conference, and then we'll go to the Western Conference. Right now, the Pistons are on top of the NBA standings. Excuse me. God damn, this internet, I swear to God. I swear, this internet is so stupid. Yeah, take it in the back and put it out of its misery. Pistons 40-13, top of the. Yo, hold yourself. Pistons 40-13, Celtics 35-19, Knicks 35-20, Cavaliers 34-21, and the Raptors 32-23. Top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference. Where's the Pacers, Nets, Bucks, and Bulls? All on the bottom. And in the Western Conference, Thunder with the best record in the league, 42-14. But the Spurs, right behind them, 38-16 with a 6-game win streak. Nuggets 35-20, Rockets 33-20, and the Lakers 33-21. Top 5 teams in the league. Kings, Pelicans, Jazz, Mavericks, and the Grizzlies, bottom 5. Kings, 12 wins. The Mavericks, though, we need to do something. I heard Kyrie Irving is out for the year. Cooper Flag he can't do it. He's only 19. He can't do it by himself. So, he can't do it by himself. He can't do it by himself. But, yeah. We'll see. First half of the season is in the books. We're going on to the second half of the season. So, you know, I'm excited to be the first time we do the NBA playoffs. I think the play-in's okay. You know, it gives a little bit more opportunity to the teams. But I don't like the NBA Cup. Even if the Knicks didn't win it this year. It's kind of silly. But you know, that NBA, you know, I thought it was before we gotta talk about that, before I move on. 2 things though. It was we don't talk All-Star Game, we didn't talk about it. Little fun segment with the Obama family. Obama was on the sideline with Michelle, and a ball went into the crowd, and Obama caught it. So I thought that was funny. So yeah, so that was a cute moment for the Obamas. I miss them. Wish they were back. Obama got back. But Chris Paul has called it a career. 21 seasons, future Hall of Famer, second all time in both assists and steals, 12-time All-Star, and he retired after a heartfelt social media. Look, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I have to deal with. That's what I have to deal with. You know, I don't even know if I'm still alive. You know, I'm sure this is going to say bad connection. Because right now, you know, oh wait, it stopped. It'll be back on. Back on. Back on. Anyway, it's annoying. Internet connection sucks, but Chris Paul's career did not suck. He, future Hall of Famer, 21 seasons, no ring. I don't know what that is. That's some jazz music on there. I used to play the saxophone, but now I don't. Anyway, I do want to look at the Olympics because the Olympics are happening. Team USA is doing phenomenal. What's up, mama? We're going to look at the Olympic standings. Team USA, always, we got to vote for them. We got to root for them. Right now, they're doing really good in hockey. USA versus Sweden. They defeated Sweden for the first time. What a phenomenal, you know, this internet sucks so much. I'm going to do this outside. I'm not going to go outside. It's way too cold. By the way, I would take this over 100-degree weather any day of the week. The United States has 24 medals, 7 gold, 11 silver, and 6 bronze. Norway 15, 8, and 10. Italy 9, 5, and 12. But, man, you know, Olympics, they're cool. There's sports, a lot of sports. I don't know too much about curling or anything else, but other than that, I got to go for the Team USA. Let's see, 2026. It's in Milan, Cantino. So, Unfortunately, I did see that Sidney Crosby is out for Team Canada. He hurt his leg. That's the greatest of all time. Hopefully, he gets better because I want the Penguins to do really good. Because I'm sick of not seeing the Penguins in the playoffs. Actually, while we do that, let's look at the standings for the first half of the NBA season. Did I watch the Super Bowl? I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I was at work. But I didn't miss much. The Seahawks dominated the Patriots. Drake May did not show up. And yeah, it was kind of predictable, but not predictable. But I thought it was going to be different. It was, some Super Bowls are good. Some Super Bowls are bad. That one was a sneaky, But we'll see. Next year, we'll get Fernando Mendoza on the Raiders. Hopefully we'll make it to the Super Bowl. What does a Raiders fan do when he wins the Super Bowl? He turns off his PlayStation and goes to bed. NHL record, the Lightning, 78 points. Hurricanes, 78 points. Penguins are just second place in the Metropolitan, 70 points. Avalanche, 83 points. Doing great. The Wild, 78 points. The Golden Knights, ahead of the Pacific Division, 68 points. How's our teams doing? What's our teams? We don't like the Sabres. And, wow, the Rangers, 50 points. What happened to the New York Rangers? Not a good team. Florida Panthers, 61 points, bottom of the Atlantic Division. Wow, that is, what's that other team we don't like? It was the Blues. No, we like the Blue Jackets, 65 points, 7-game win streak. 7-game win streak ever since I shat on the Blue Jackets. They have won 7 games in a row. They have been on a roll since I completely shat on them. So, Brat Said That, changes franchises around. But, since the internet is working, I do want to look at Team USA and their hockey. I saw that they just beat Sweden for the first time in like 4 Olympics. Snowboarding, I like snowboarding. Snowboarding's cool. Let me see, United States at Winter Olympics. There we go. Let's see. Come on now. I don't want the history of it. I just want to see this year's. Come on now. Sometimes I just go on tyrants and I really can't let's see. Oh, okay, we've won gold in alpine skiing, figure skating, freestyle skating, speed skating, bobsled, and alpine skiing. So, congrats to all the gold medalists. Silver medals, we've won a bunch. Bronze medals. Bobsled. Oh, wait, they do women's bobsled as a single? I thought it was 4 guys. I've seen Cool Runnings. That's the only thing I know about bobsleds. But yeah, shout out to the Olympic team. Let's see, men's tournament. What is this? Is this the hockey? Is this hockey? Let's see, round robin. We beat Czech Republic on Wednesday. Lost to Switzerland. Oh no, this is not that. What is this? Curling. That's curling. Men's mixed double curling. A lot of curling in hockey. Figure skating. We've done really good. Shout out to Tyler Lipinski. Ice hockey. This is what I want to see. Ice hockey. Men's ice hockey. We defeated Latvia, Denmark, and Germany. Women's defeated Czechia, France, Switzerland, and Canada. And Italy and Sweden. Wow. We have the women's tournament. Is it in finals? What? I gotta watch that. What is that? They're gonna be in the finals? That's insane. Well, not insane. We're America, best country in the world. And then the men's semifinal against Slovakia. Wow. What a heck yeah. Go United States. They're doing really, 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 really good. But I do want to end this kind of soon because it is getting dipping into the 8 o'clock hour. Michigan is now the number 1 in the nation in NCAA basketball, taking over the spot of Arizona after they lost 2 straight. Michigan, not known for their basketball. I mean, they have a really historic basketball team. What was it? Yeah, they have a really good Michigan basketball team. I think who was on it? Let's see. I remember they might have won a championship. Let's see. Yeah, they won in 1989 NCAA tournaments, and I know like 4 players came out of that. 4 players came out. Glenn Rice. Oh wait, all right, Glenn Rice. Maybe just Glenn Rice. Maybe I'm wrong. But I know Glenn Rice. I think he was like the 4th pick in 1989. So good shot from Michigan. You know, they got a good football team, which we support. They're facing Duke on Saturday, so go Duke. But, you know, I do want to talk about this since we had a little mafia theme, little Godfather theme. Legendary actor Robert Duvall passed away. I want to talk about him a lot. You know, I never really watched the Godfather movies. I should. I hear Godfather 3 is really bad. But Godfather 1 and 2, like Fredo, you betrayed me, you know. And, you know, I'm making an offer you can't refuse. Like, we all know that. We all love that. Robert Duvall, though. Let's look at some of his filmology. Most noticeably, let's see. Lonesome Dove, The Mob Squad. Let's see. He was in True Grit. I love True Grit. That was such a good movie. John Wayne, the Duke. You know, that was John Wayne's last movie. Could be wrong. I think I am. Was that John Wayne's last movie? I should know that. My dad lived off John Wayne. I don't know what I'm talking about. But Robert Duvall, great actor, died at 93. 93 is 95. That is a long life to live. Deep Impact, Gone in 60 Seconds, you know. 4 Christmases, The Scarlet Letter, The Plague, you know. And then he was mostly into The Godfather Part 2 as Tom Hagen. Let's see, Tom Hagen is a fictional character in The Godfather. Let's see, you know. I thought he was one of the Corleones, but he's not. But rest in peace to him. That is a legendary actor. Died just a few days ago in his, you know, Virginia. Served in the military, U.S. Army from 53 to 54. Wow. But also to another iconic, notable figure, Jesse Jackson passed away. Jesse Jackson, civil rights activist, politician, prodigy of Martin Luther King. I'm just reading off Wikipedia. No relation. 84, died in Chicago. You know, just done a lot of things for people. And, you know, let's see, he was, 1984 Democratic Party presidency primaries, got 18% of the vote, didn't win that. And then, almost in 88, 29% of the vote, Michael Dukakis, probably would have done better than Michael Dukakis, but, you know, rest in peace to him. Passed away at his Chicago home. You know, a lot of people on all sides. You know, Sharpton, Clinton. Martin Luther King III. I didn't know there was a third. Kamala Harris, Andrew Young, all pay their respects. But yeah. So rest in peace to those 2 legendary figures in history. But I did do this. I did look up some of the top fictional mobsters as we end the show. Number 1, Vito Corleone, the Godfather. The Blueprint, calm, collected. I'm going to break him an offer. You can't refuse. Family over everything, pure old school power. Without Vito, there is no modern mafia storytelling. Number 2, Michael Corleone. From war hero to ice cold crime boss, ruthless, strategic, emotionally detached, the baptism scene, cinematic history. By the way, we're now 75% uploaded onto YouTube. My favorite monster of all time, fictional, Tony Soprano. mob boss and panic attacks, therapy sessions, murder orders, human, flawed, violent. He changed TV forever. Did Tony Soprano die at the end? I think so. I think he did. But let me tell you something about the ending of The Soprano. It kind of ruined the endings for shows now. Because they always leave it ambiguous. Did he live? Did they die? Is Elle still alive? Other stuff like that. Ambiguous endings. I think what happened is the guy in the members-only jacket went in the bathroom, got out his gun, and shot Tony in the head. I don't think he killed Carmella, AJ, or Meadow. I don't think that. What I really, really wanted to see... Now, I know the Many Cents in New York was like a film not a lot of people liked. I loved it. James Gandolfini's son, real life, Michael Gandolfini. Am I saying that? Gandolfini? I'm tired. He played young Tony Soprano. I would have liked it where if they would have seen Tony Soprano's grave. Say 1950 something to 2007. Confirming he did die in the diner. But, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Did he live? Did he die? Did he get poked in the eye? Tommy DeVito in The Goodfellas, Joe Pesci, funny like I'm a clown. Small guy with a massive temper. Even his Goodfellas, even in Casino, he was great. Al Capone in The Untouchables, Frank Costello in The Departed, Nucky Thompson, Boardwalk Empire. I really, really love that show. The ending, they did a Bronx style ending. If you don't know what a Bronx style ending is, it's, a Bronx style ending. If you've seen the Bronx style, early in the movie, Sonny has a conflict outside. He shoots a guy. Okay? Then they do the whole character arc of Sonny and C. 20 years later, when C's growing up, divided by his father, and Sonny, the kid whose dad was shot by Sonny, shoots Sonny. So they did that with Nucky, when Nucky gets killed by Tommy Darmany's son years later. So that's a Bronx style ending. But yeah, Steve Buscemi, politician, mob boss, John Wick. John Wick would be a mafia member. I don't know. I love John Wick. John Wick, all because he killed a dog. I might go John Wick on you if you hurt Penny or Rolly. Especially Babe. Honorable mention, Silvio Dante, Sonny Corleone. But I think, honestly, Tony Soprano changed the game. Sopranos is probably my favorite TV show other than Sons of Anarchy. Which is funny, because I'm going to be honest with you, before I get off, I've never watched the whole series. I've watched clips. I know I got books. I've never sat down and watched, all of this. Can you be quiet? There, jazz music. But anyway, guys, that's the show. Oh, we can't go. We got one more thing to talk about. Real quick. Another great character. James Bond. Might have the next actor to play James Bond. Jacob Elordi. Elordi might be the next James Bond. Rumored to play him. He's been in a few movies. Frankenstein, Saltburn, Pirates of the Caribbean as an extra. Euphoria. So I think he's mostly known for Euphoria with Zendaya. Right? Nate Jacobs, a star high school football player, and Maddie's on and off crush. Abusive boyfriend. So yeah, that might be the next James Bond. I guess he's Australian, which I don't know if they've ever had an Australian James Bond before. But guys, that's it for the show. I had a really good show. I had fun. We talked about it. Who's this mysterious? Oh no, I gotta get the music in the background. By the way, my YouTube Premium expired. And not having YouTube Premium is one of the worst things. That is a true first world problem. So once I get paid, I'm going to definitely do a YouTube Premium Because I can't wait for these ads. Daredevil, yeah, I get it. You're Disney Plus. But anyway, guys. Who's in the box? Who's the mysterious man? We're going to find out. Kevin Nash, you didn't win the BratWURST award, but be careful what you say. I still love you. AJ Styles celebration next Monday. NXT Vengeance Day. AEW Double or Nothing. We didn't talk about that. AEW Double or Nothing. May 24th in Louis Armstrong Stadium in New York City. UFC, they're going to hold the White House card. We got to see. Conor McGregor is not coming back. He's not fighting anytime soon. Rousey versus Carano. Michael Chiesa closing the career. Sean Strickland, shut the fuck up. Mike Evans is a Super Bowl champion. Chris Paul called it a career Hall of Famer. Go Team USA in the Olympics. Michigan's #1. Rest in peace to Robert Duvall and Jesse Jackson. And guys, I'm heading off. Episode 38 in the books. Had a great show. I think we're going to change the platform soon. Probably go on like StreamYard or something else. But hey, we're still getting started, baby. By the way, follow me on Twitter. X. Brat Said That X. Both John Cena and Scott Steiner following me. Why aren't you? Instagram. I thought about starting a Brat Said That Instagram, but I'm a little bit deep into the Brat Said That on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me, Brat Jackson, the O is 0. YouTube, Brat Said That too. 25 subscribers. Let's get it up, guys. It takes 1 second to subscribe. It makes me happy. And bodyslam.net. I will be posting about the AJ Styles in his career. So thank you all, guys. I'm gonna go check on Babe, and you know I don't know. My schedule's kind of like in the midday, but I would definitely try to be back before Saturday. So maybe Saturday morning I'll post something. But guys, I love you. Love yourself. Love each other. Stop this hate. Stop. And guys, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. If you subscribe to my YouTube, I'll smile. Alright, guys. Bye, bye.